Hello, welcome to another episode of Bro the Box. I believe we're on episode number 11. My name is Linus. I'm a trans dude. I live in Seattle, Washington. I'm just going to tell you right now, if you watch through to the end of this video, you could win a prize. That's all I'm saying. I know you're probably looking at the counter right now, probably saying Linus is a bit long-winded, but if you watch through the end of this video, you could win a prize. So let's jump right in. I'm 1 year on T. I meant to upload this video and make it and upload it yesterday, but that just didn't work out, because if you can't tell, I have a new laptop and a new webcam that I am using to record this. I haven't quite gotten the hang of the software. So I want to talk a little bit about 1 year on T and also a little bit about some stuff that's going on in my home state of Maryland. Just jump right in. 1 year on testosterone. It's really great. So far, so good. Summarize a lot of the same stuff that's been going on is just ongoing. More body hair, more muscle mass. I noticed kind of my ass and hips have just sort of disappeared, which is nice, and that was one of those things that happened really slowly, and then I just kind of noticed it. Obviously my voice has dropped quite a bit. I was like watching one of my old videos. It's kind of a trip. Skin and hair has gotten kind of drier. A little bit more acne, but nothing that's unmanageable. I tell you what, I think one of the things that, one of the newer developments is I think my hairline is rearranging itself a little bit, which isn't, I'm trying not to seg myself out, it's not a big deal. You know, like losing your hair is kind of part of the aging process, but I was kind of hoping that was part of the aging process that would happen in about 20 years or so, but Captain Picard was like 5'6" and bald, and he was captain of the Enterprise, so maybe it's not that bad. Anything else? No, I think that's it for sort of transition updates. I'm still on a pretty moderate dose, so I'm still kind of cooking. I'm still coming along, so I might not represent what a lot of people look like in after a year on T. So let's talk about real quick something that happened to me. I live in Washington. It's really strong anti-discrimination laws, and I don't want to go too much into it, but because it's still sort of ongoing. But I was in a situation where I was pretty sure I'd been discriminated against, and so I went to this free legal clinic, this free queer LGBTQA legal clinic, and talked to somebody and got some free legal advice, and they're like, yeah, you've been discriminated against, and told me my options. So I was able to go and file a complaint with the Washington State Human Rights Council. So real quick, I just really want to plug these guys, because they are awesome. It's the legal clinic that I went to. They're really great, and they just handle all sorts of questions. That's not just about, discrimination, or, it could be about discrimination, but they handle all sorts of queer queries. Maybe you want to change your passport, or change, your name, and you're just not sure how to do it. So they could advise you on some of the legal foibles that you would encounter. So this leads into, coincidentally, what's going on in Maryland right now. So I heard that in Baltimore County they're trying to pass some anti-discrimination legislature that would protect people for their gender expression, their gender identity, which is awesome, because right now there is pretty much none. If, like, what happened to me here in Washington happened to me in Maryland, I would have had no legal recourse. They would have been like, TS, sucks to be you. So I really want to see that legislation passed. Unfortunately, since it's come before the councilmen that will be voting on it in Baltimore County, somewhere I lived for many, many, many years, there's been some testimony, because there's been concerns about the public accommodations aspect of the bill, which would essentially allow people to use whatever bathroom that they wanted, without anybody policing them and trying to tell them, what proper restroom they're supposed to use. And people have brought up saying it's like a safety issue and they're worried about lawsuits. And I really wanted to speak to that a little bit, because it's not. It's really not. Like I said, right now the law in Washington is you can use any bathroom you want. No one's really has any legal recourse, and there hasn't been a problem. There hasn't been some crazy rash of sexual assaults, because I think people are kind of concerned, at least it sounds like they're talking about trans women using the women's restroom, and they're like, oh, I'm concerned about my safety, so at least for me, living here, the law has been that way, and there hasn't been any problems. There hasn't been a rash of sexual assaults in public bathrooms and public women's restrooms across the state. And I think also, people say it's a safety issue. I think it's more of a fear issue. Because statistically, you know, it's a really terrifying thought. I think it's more terrifying than what people are worried about. But, you know, if someone is sexually assaulted, it's actually more likely that it will happen to them by someone that they know, which is really terrible. But I think the idea of the sexual predator, you know, like laying in waiting, you know, like the anonymous sexual predator, is much scarier. You know, it's something that you have less control over, and it's much scarier, so I think people are more fearful of it. Which doesn't actually mean that it's more likely to happen. It just means that, you know, there's more fear, and so sometimes people may pay more attention to it. So I really have to urge people that, I mean, it's really terrible. I'm not trying to condescend to anybody who's concerned about sexual assault, because I think that, you know, culturally, you know, we're not really that good about it. It's something that happens, and people feel uncomfortable talking about it, so they try to ignore it and gloss over it. And that's, of course, not going to solve the problem. But I really have to urge people to look at the facts, and that the likelihood of extending these public accommodations to trans people and it somehow causing a rash of sexual assaults is not likely. I mean, you know, it's difficult, but it's definitely a scary idea, like the idea of an anonymous sort of sexual predator. It's really scary, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the most likely situation. So I don't think adding these amendments are actually going to keep anyone safer. And certainly not going to protect the people that the bill is supposed to be written for. And also, I believe someone was concerned about frivolous lawsuits. They were concerned about local businesses and small businesses not being able to meet these accommodations, and therefore people suing them. And again, you know, I have to say, living here in Washington, that's the law here, and there hasn't been crazy volume of lawsuits. In fact, like I said, you know, I'm dealing with a situation that, you know, I was discriminated against, and I probably could have pursued it with a lawyer and pursued a lawsuit, but I wasn't looking for money. I was looking for a way to address the problem and feel like I'd been heard, and feel like I have a way to stop this from happening again, because it was, you know, really unpleasant, really disrespectful and degrading, and inconvenient to my ability to make money and live my life. And I wasn't trying to go out and get cash from it. I was trying to have a way to be heard and see if I could get this institution to educate themselves and readdress their policies. So you're probably like, oh my gosh, Linus, thank you for letting me know. Oh goodness, what can I do to help? Well, you can call up the councilman. There are 4 councilmen that have been in support of the bill, but if it is amended, they're in support of the bill and the amendments. So what you can do is you can call up these councilmen. And you're probably like, oh my goodness, it's Sunday, I'm so tired. Oh, that's so, I mean, I want to help you crusade, but I'm really tired. Well, that's not a problem, because I have written down the names and the phone numbers of all of these councilmen. So let's run through the all-stars. All this information is going to be available on a link I'm going to post underneath this video. But, you know, let's go through our all-stars of who you should be talking to right now. Miss Kathy Blevins, Councilman Kathy Blevins. That is her office number, and you can call her Towson office and call her and talk to her. Next individual, Mr. Todd Huff. Mr. Todd Huff, Councilman Todd Huff. Please call him up. This is his office number. You can get a hold of him. Is, I believe, his Towson office number. Let him know that you want to see this bill passed, but you do not want to see these amendments. They're not helping anyone. They're not helping the people that the bill is supposed to be protecting. Mr. David Marks, Councilman David Marks of Perry Hall. This is his office number. Call him up. And finally, Mr. John Olszynski. Mr. John Olszynski, Councilman John Olszynski. Give him a call. Tell him what you're thinking. Tell him you want to see this bill passed, but not with the amendments. So here's the deal. If you call up any of these people, if you write them a letter, if you send them an email, I will give you a prize. Give me some sort of proof that you've done it. Forward the email to me. Forward a letter or response letter you got from the councilman if you wrote them a letter. Give me a shot of your phone log after you call them, and I will send you a prize. It's probably going to be a bro with a box t-shirt, but if you're watching this video, and you know who I'm talking to right now, because if you're living in Baltimore County, you probably know me. There's not a huge number of people that watch my videos. So, you know I'm talking to you, and you also know me. So, this prize could be anything. It might be a Bro with a Box t-shirt, or it could be anything else. But I will give you a prize. Please, 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 get in contact with these people. If you in any way can demonstrate that you have contacted these councilmen, I will give you a prize. I think that's about it. The bill's being voted on February 21st. I'm going to include a link to the Facebook group that is going out. Wear purple in support of the bill. I'm also going to include a link of all the information that I just displayed to you. But please, 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 please get in contact with these councilmen. I would really appreciate it, because I want to live in Maryland again someday. I'm going to live anywhere I want. But not having to worry about being beaten up or arrested for taking a leak is something that is really nice. So, please, please, please get in contact with these councilmen telling them you want to see the bill passed, but these amendments aren't helping anyone. They're not going to protect the people that the bill is supposed to protect. They're not going to protect anybody else. So, thank you again for watching, and hopefully now that I have a proper webcam, I'll be updating again soon, and I'll stay in touch, and cool. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks for watching, guys.